Hey guys, DMV Solar Rider back with another video. I am about to cross over into West Virginia. Take a little road trip this weekend. I'm heading down to Tazewell to ride the Back of the Dragon and some roads out there. And Yamaha's doing a demo event, so I'm looking forward to checking out the MT-09. And I decided instead of heading right there, I'd take a nice little cruise through West Virginia, stop at Seneca Rocks. And I figured, what the heck, I might as well play around with my vlogging setup on my new Ruroc Atlas 4.0 and see how the audio is, see how the camera position is. And while I'm at it, I might as well kind of film my initial impressions. Let's hit it. So what can I tell you about the Ruroc Atlas 4.0? Let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. Regardless of anything else I have to say about this helmet, regardless of anything else anyone else has had to say about it, let's be clear, the helmet looks fantastic. The red, the chrome, works perfectly with the Challenger. Now, I have not tried any of the previous models of the Atlas, so I can't compare this to any of those. There are a million videos on YouTube from people who were less than impressed with previous iterations. I'm not even going to get into all that. I'm just going to talk about this helmet, and kind of like my last helmet video, probably going to compare it quite a bit to my Shoei GT-Air 2 in terms of, you know, the weight, comfort, sound in the helmet, the visor, all the basic areas you think about when you think about a helmet. But I guess I think the most important starting place when you're talking about the Atlas is helmet sizing. So I have a 54 centimeter head, you know, measuring around my dome, and according to Ruroc, that means I should be wearing an extra small Atlas. So that's what I ordered, and I got the extra small, and it was so small that in order to get it on my head, I had to push down from the top with like actual effort. So it was too small. The next size I tried was a small. That also was too small. I was able to get it on my head, but it was so tight that I was actually seeing stars while the helmet was on. So obviously that had to go back. And so this helmet is a medium, so 2 sizes larger than the Ruroc size guide said I needed. Size guides are guides, they're not guarantees. Every helmet's going to fit every rider a little differently, but I had to go through 3 helmets to find the one that fit me based on Ruroc's size guide. So keep that in mind. And that's important because, you know, there's no retail outlet for Ruroc. You order it online, they ship it to you. If you have to exchange it for another size, you got to send it back. Ruroc has a distribution center in California now, so it's a little more convenient than when you had to send it back to the UK. But you know, if you decide you want an Atlas and you're going to order one, just understand that it could take a little bit of time to get the helmet that you need, and you just got to accept it. So how does this medium fit? Comfortably. You know, fits on without a problem. It's not too tight. I don't get any of those sensations. So the medium works for me as far as the circumference of my head. What I find a little weird is on the sides of the helmet, like where the padding fits around your ears, the helmet feels like it's just a hair too big, meaning I feel the ear pads on the top of my ears. I don't want to say weighing down on my ears, but I feel them, as opposed to the helmet fitting snugly but not too tight on my head, and my ears just being in the ear holes. It's not uncomfortable. I've worn the helmet for hours at a stretch so far. It has this odd sensation of making the helmet on the sides feel like it's a hair too big. Kind of weird. As far as the comfort of the liner, it's very comfortable. Definitely on par with my Shoei GT-Air 2. Maybe not quite as plush, but really close. No dissatisfaction with the liner materials, not having any sort of chafing or lack of comfort. Wow, look at those colors. Amazing. Just really satisfied with it. The cushiness of the pads is solid. I know for the Atlas 3.0, that whole saga, people were really dissatisfied with the padding that came with the helmet. No issues with the 4.0. In terms of noise inside the helmet, not quite as quiet as my Shoei, not gonna lie, but it's comparable. When I say comparable, I mean, look, this helmet costs $400 at a little more than $400. The Shoei's, you know, 650 to 700. Given the dramatic price difference, the sound level in this helmet is really impressive. And I compare this with all the other helmets that I wear. You know, my new modular helmet is not as quiet as this. My Icon Airflite, not nearly as quiet as this. So I'm really content with it. I've never recorded wearing this helmet. This is the first time I'm vlogging wearing it, so we'll see how the audio sounds. So, you know, one other thing I'd mention, you know, the sides of the helmet feel like they're a hair too big for my proportions. The chin curtain also doesn't quite fit me. Like, it mostly, you can see my chin, it doesn't actually come to my chin. It comes to just right in front of it, which is kind of weird. I don't think they make a larger one. So that kind of goes with kind of the odd fit of the Atlas for me in particular. Ventilation in the helmet is really good. I've got all the vents closed right now. I've got the vent in the mouth closed. But as soon as you open the vent in the forehead, you feel it on your forehead immediately. Never really had that experience with the Shoei, so as far as air ventilation, solid. Very happy with it. There we go, West Virginia, baby. I have 3 visors for this helmet, by the way. I've got this chrome one that I got, came with the clear visor, and when I bought the helmet, Ruroc was also giving away the smoked visor, like, you know, it's like wearing sunglasses for free. So I have 3 visors. Changing the visor is kind of a pain. Like, you have little tabs you pull out, that part's easy, but actually getting the visor to connect on both sides can take a little effort, but good enough. In terms of my view out of the visor, I'm really happy with the Atlas. You know, the visor on my Icon Airflite is just amazing because it's like you're not wearing a helmet. You have nothing in your field of view for the most part, maybe a little bit around the nose. That's it. And all you have is view. On the Shoei with the more traditional oval visor, you know, you see the helmet around your vision. It's not a big deal, but when you spend a lot of time in an Icon Airflite, it leaves a lot to be desired. I'm pleased to report that in a lot of ways, this visor is far more like the Icon than the Shoei. When it comes to the top part of your vision, you know, like from right about midpoint of the visor up, you see nothing. There's no real helmet awareness. It's just, you know, blue skies, open vision. It's amazing. You are definitely a little more cognizant of the nose guard and the bottom of the visor in the helmet. Like, I can see it pretty easily. That's fine. Not a problem. I think most helmets you're going to see that stuff. It's just, you know, the Icon Airflite has that amazing field of view. You only see just a small hint of the nose guard. And the last part of my Ruroc Atlas 4.0 purchase is the Shockwave. It's an integrated Bluetooth that's in the back of the helmet. I'm pretty content with it. It has good volume. You know, riding at high speeds on the highway, I hear it without a problem. Don't have to have the volume at max. I am experiencing with the Shockwave kind of this intermittent, it's not really interference, but it's winking out. You know, if I'm listening to a song, it might blink out 2 or 3 times over the course of one song. It's kind of annoying. I've been playing around with it. The firmware is up to date. I played around with all the connections. On my ride out towards Seneca Rocks this morning, I was using it. I don't know if I did something better in terms of my connections, in terms of how the wires are placed. Had a little bit of a better experience with it. It could be that, you know, the Bluetooth in the Shockwave connecting with the Challenger's Bluetooth, because, you know, when you're using CarPlay, you have to connect your headset to the bike. You can't just connect it to your phone. It could be something between the Indian and the Ruroc Bluetooth. I don't know. So the jury's still out on Shockwave. You know, I've talked with Ruroc a bit, and they suggested, you know, do a factory reset, redo all the connections, which is what I did. So far, a little bit of improvement, but it's not the way it should be. So I'll talk with them and see what they think the next step is. They may want to exchange it. If I exchange it and it you know, the problem persists, I'll just return it. I have a Cardo FreeCom that I can put on this. You know, obviously I'm a big fan of the integrated Bluetooth, because who wants to dirty up a sharp looking helmet like this with a big hunk of plastic on the side for Bluetooth? But you do what you got to do. But yeah, so overall, you know, with the exception of, you know, kind of the unusual fit and my issues with the shockwave, I'm really happy with the helmet. You know, as I mentioned, a lot of people had some really disappointing experiences with earlier iterations of the helmet. I can't speak to those. I can just tell you that the Atlas 4.0 is solid, especially considering the price. And my only advice to you is, while you're trying it out, be prepared to exchange it for a different size. In fact, I would go as far as to say, at the very least, order one size higher than the size guide is telling you. I mean, the extra small was so small on my little head, I couldn't believe it. Like, that's how ridiculous it was. But again, very satisfied with the helmet for the price of it. And Ruroc is always having sales on accessories, the helmets themselves. You can't do better, to be honest. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing what Ruroc does with these helmets going forward. You know, from everything I've heard, this helmet is a superior upgrade from the last version, and I'm sure the 5.0 will be even better than this one. So Ruroc is definitely heading in the right direction. Well, that's what I got for you right now, guys. Just a short little video introducing you to my Atlas 4.0. Oh, here we go on to 48, my favorite. Oh, that sounds so good. Alright guys, well, that's what I got for you for this video. I'll get more up at some point. Hope you guys are having a great October. It's absolutely beautiful. The leaves are changing. It's not that cold yet. So get out there and ride, baby. Until next time, DMV Solo Rider is out.